Hello and welcome to Driving Double Feature Podcast. I'm Nathan,
I'm Ryan.
and this is the podcast where we talk about two movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before we get into this week's episode, I want to talk to you about our Patreon. If you head over to patreon.com/Driving Double Feature Podcast, we got a bunch of bonus content over there, fun conversations, fun games, just generally fun stuff. And for $5 a month, you help support us. But no main show content is locked behind that Patreon. But getting into this week's movies, we're back at it again with Dirty Gamera, which we know we're getting close to the end, if not at the end of both of these. We're about to do like a big reset for our franchises. But we still got one more Dirty Harry. This is the second to last one from 1983 called Sudden Impact. And this one is the only one to be directed by Clint Eastwood. And Clint Eastwood stars in this Dirty Harry movie. Can you believe that?
What? He's in Dirty Harry now?
Yeah, well, they decided that Dirty Harry should be the star of the movie.
Oh, since when? I don't that doesn't make sense.
I know it really doesn't. I always thought of it like as like, oh no, it's Robert Mitchum's movie. Uh he's
Yeah,
the it's his
for
movie. Mhm.
the character Horace, who's in all four of the Dirty Harry movies, and I thought he was the main character.
There's five. Did you know that?
No, there's four. He died in this one.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Uh, I thought he died in the last one.
No, he dies in this one.
Okay, all right. Um, but this is Dirty Harry, and it feels like a huge time skip between these two movies. Like going from the last one to this one. I mean, I don't think it was that long of a gap. It was 1976, and then this one is
83.
1982 or 83.
Two.
Sorry, it's
Three.
yeah, no, you're right. It is 83. Yeah, it is 1983. So it is a gap, and we're definitely in the 80s. It feels like a different style of film. Feels a little more how should I say it? Kind of angry. I definitely feel it takes notes from like Death Wish. I'm sure you felt that way, that Death
Mhm.
Wish, a very similar vibe. I think overall this is the most violent Dirty Harry movie. There's a lot of
Well,
death.
this one is definitely very much like I don't know, like I almost kind of feel like it kind of like um conflicts with the second movie a little bit.
I could see it. Yeah. Yeah,
Because
Dirty
like,
Harry's always a new character. That's what I've learned. Like he's got a new set of morals in every movie.
well, I mean, like in the second one, it was all about vigilantes like taking
Mhm.
out dangerous criminals.
Right.
And then Dirty Harry's like, no, like that's not how we do things.
Mhm.
And this one, it's about vigilante, or like, like it's like a
One
revenge story.
vigilante. Yeah.
One vigilante, it's a revenge story, and it's just like, yeah, that's justifiable.
Well, there's a difference. Those were men, and this is a woman. Okay, Dirty Harry's got a soft spot for the women. I don't know. Because like yeah, no, I agree. It's very interesting how this movie is handled in general because it is a vigilante movie about a woman who her and her sister were gang raped by a group of people. Um
Death Wish,
Death Wish, yes. One's in a catatonic state and then the other one, the one that we follow who is played by
Sandra
Sandra,
Locke.
yeah, Sandra Locke, and she's going around killing people. And what I find interesting about that is that Dirty Harry, or I honestly I should just call him Harry because they hardly ever call him Dirty Harry in any of these movies. It gets
I
brought up
think they
like
only
one
didn't they.
time.
I was about to say, didn't they only call him Dirty Harry like once, like in this
Yeah,
whole series?
yeah, exactly. Like it hardly ever happens. It's so wild how his name is synonymous, but like they don't even bring it up. But anyway, his plot line and that plot line don't really intersect until after the halfway point. Harry knows about the murders. They're kind of popping up, but it doesn't really their paths don't cross until pretty late into the movie, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like that too. I mean, it's this one's very much just like, well, since Harry plays by the rules so much, he's not very popular because, he's always like, let me fill out this form correctly and make sure I
Mhm.
do all the arrest properly, and, I just not use any excessive force. He's always, that's why he's not like a real big favorite in the police academy and the police
Exactly,
force.
because he plays too much by the rules. No, I think you watched the wrong movie because this movie literally opens up with a case getting dismissed because Harry got evidence
You-
that was with no probable cause
but
and go
yeah,
ahead.
it was an illegal search.
Yeah,
They're
and of course they're celebrating because Harry's won it for them. And I love that scene in the elevator where the guy's like, "Oh yeah, you really did it, Harry," the guy that committed the crime. So Harry grabs him by the shirt collar, is like, "You're dog shit." He like gives a speech about like how there's only two things we do with dog shit. So
we
I don't
eat it.
we eat dog shit. Yeah, no. Yeah, and I don't know. It made me think. In that moment, I was like, "Does Harry like practice these lines? Like, do you think he like takes a shower in the morning and he's like, oh,
Yeah.
dog shit. Okay, I'm gonna use that one eventually. I'm gonna keep that one saved up
He's
because
like
no one talks like this. No one can say this.
he's like, I want if he gets he's like, I got a line if he's innocent and I got one if he's guilty. And it's like
Isn't that what like Winston Churchill was always like? Oh, in a debate, I always think ahead on what I could say in every possible situation. That's Harry too. Uh,
yeah. So he's got like a joke book at home and it's got like
yeah, he's like a comedian almost for shitty
yeah.
like one-liners and stuff. I got one here. If somebody gives me too much sugar at the coffee shop and they're being robbed, all right, that situation's done.
Your your pizza topping. Oh no, that's
Oh
garbage.
yeah. Yeah, that the little sister from Stay Tuned was digging through the trash one day and found
Yeah.
his book. That's why
Yeah.
he got his rejects. What was the other one? You dweeb Nick?
Dweebnik, yeah.
I don't think Harry would ever even think of that.
No.
No. But yeah, so that's the next scene. As usual, these movies have to start with him just doing regular work. He goes to a coffee shop and he's too like overtaken by exactly what happened in the courts the other day. And the place is being robbed, and he can tell because the lady just dumped a ton of sugar into his coffee. And like once again, very violent movie because this scene is crazy for one of these movies because he just takes out his gun and just starts blasting them like it's crazy. They're like
Yeah.
one guy like hits the window onto the ground. It's insane. It's just like Death Wish.
It is. I mean, it definitely the 80s are here. I mean,
Yeah.
because it, so many people just die. I mean, just not even like in a shootout, just like point blank, like just like blown away
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this one.
No questions asked. And I
That's
do
why,
think.
hey, sudden impact.
Oh, what? You're right. Isn't there's a Dirty Harry NES game, right? I believe
It
so.
is.
And I think the cover of that game is the poster for this movie.
It is.
Wow. I don't know. I just
And
thought about that.
and Harry has like a blue suit on or whatever. It's
Oh, his iconic one. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh, but I hope he plays the Dirty Harry game in the next one. I might be
We should
surprised.
we should be like Clint Eastwood like at 94 doing a let's play of Dirty Harry.
He's in his wheelchair. He doesn't know what to do. He can't even hold the controller. He
No, he
need
directed a movie. He could hold a controller.
he had a shadow director help him. So I think maybe I'll help him. I'll hide behind him and
You
play
gotta
the
shoot the
game.
bullets. You gotta shoot the bullets, Clint.
Wow, Clint, great timing. You're playing so well. Yeah.
And you're just like
And- but
you're
but
just
then
like gaming under.
and
It's like
you
it's like with no, it's like when you play with like your little brother or somebody, like you give them like the unplugged controller. You're
you know
doing a great job.
this is I don't know. This is a totally different story, but why not? I used to play this trivia game on the PSP named Buzz Trivia, and I would play it with
Uh-huh.
this kid on the bus, and I remember I used to pass it to him on the PSP. There's a hold button where the screen will stay on, but none of the buttons work. So I would put it on hold and pass it to him, and he would be like, "I can't get it. I can't answer." And I'm like, Sorry. I'm just the screw with
Wow,
it.
wow, you're the little
Uh,
cheater.
I am. That's so funny. Yeah, so just getting that out there. Do you think Harry would stand for that?
No, he'd shoot you, just like blow your head. Like,
He'd be like, oh, I didn't win Buzz trivia.
it's just, it's just cheaters never win. He just blows your head off.
Yeah, I agree. Or maybe I can make a speech in the end about how it's okay, how it's actually fine, that justice found a way. But we'll get into that later. But in the middle of all this, we get scenes of Sandra. Let me get her actual name in the movie. If you remember it, tell me.
Spencer, right? Or and isn't that like,
Jennifer Spencer.
yeah,
And she's an artist, and she paints these dark paintings and everything. And she just goes around and she's tracking down people and just killing them off one by one. And she's a very cold person, doesn't care. Actually, one of the killings late in the movie is the guy is pleading because the rape happened 10 years ago, and he's like, that happened 10 years ago. I'm a different person now. I regret it to this day. I have a family. Just talking, and she's just standing there listening. Once he's done talking, he just shoots her with no remorse or anything. She is just going at it. I actually thought that part of the movie was pretty good. I thought it made for a pretty good revenge flick, and I actually kind of liked her. I don't know, how'd you feel about her?
um, I liked her as a character. I mean, I thought, she was at least sympathetic, and it's just part of you kind of understands like what she was going through, and
Hmm.
it's just like her whole life was just ruined, like, and
Hmm.
then her sisters basically just can never have like a normal life again. So
Hmm.
I can, I do like that. There's at least something in, I mean, because she's technically like, I mean, would you say she's like technically the villain of this movie? I mean, I'm not really
She
like,
is. It, it
so I
it
mean,
it plays it well. It's like a sympathetic villain in a way, right? Like she's pulling vengeance and she's murdering people, which is obviously wrong, but it's like in a way you understand what drove her to this point to do this.
yeah, I mean, Sandra Locke is just a really good actress too.
Hmm.
I mean the Clint Eastwood. I mean, 'cause her and Clint Eastwood, had like a very long relationship together, and
Hmm.
this is just one of the many movies that they worked on together. So, um,
And she was in
I
Willard. Everyone from Willard went on to have great careers. So
she was in Willard. What
yeah,
was she in Willard?
hold on.
Was she the main girl in that, or?
Yes, she was. That was Sandra Locke. She played Joan,
Oh, oh, right. Okay.
but she wasn't in Ben. So,
No, well, that's the superior one. So
oh yeah, definitely.
I think it is.
I know.
But
Uh,
anyway, yeah, no, I'm glad they at least have somebody in here. Because one thing about these other movies that I find a little lacking is, um, normally you don't have like a character that's like has equal screen time or as uh more fleshed out character as Harry. Because I mean, you think like to like the first and the second one. I mean, like who is there to even like, that's pretty much it's Harry's movie, so there's
mhm.
nobody there. I mean, is it his partner? No, I mean his partner's, he's just kind of like a guy that's like, oh, I'm just gonna go be a teacher now. And then the second one, it's like it's his other partner who like I can't even remember like what his partner did other than he got blown up, and then
Yeah, he seemed confident enough, and then he got blown up, and then
and
and
then
then the lady from the last one was very like just they played her so incompetently.
well, that was the thing. It's like she was like kind of like this rookie cop, and it was just kind of like she couldn't do anything right. It was more of like, see, they didn't hire the most qualified person. They hired a
Mhm.
woman type of thing. And then,
Mhm.
so this one, at least it feels like, there's somebody on equal footing with him.
Yeah, yeah, and she actually gets scenes to herself. She's fleshed out, especially for the villain role. because I feel like other than the first one, Scorpio is well fleshed out. But like the second one, it was more of a mystery, so I felt like we didn't get enough time with everybody. And then the
Right.
last one, the villains were, it was just, I felt like that was like just really horribly done, because I don't know, the whole motivations with that whole group, whatever. So at least here we
It was
get
all
that.
over the place. Yeah.
Um, yeah, which I can appreciate that, and you get those flashbacks of what happened to her, and they're not like crazy graphic, but you know they're still like it's awful to watch. Even awful to watch and how it's made too. There's one part where she has a flashback when she's on the beach and she like sees like where it happened, and like on the top of the frame is her eyes, and it's just a still frame, and it's like fade. It's like it hangs on to it for like way too long, like her eyes up there. I don't know if maybe that's just a nitpick for me, but I thought that was bad.
That's a ding ding.
Ding, left the eyes on screen too long. Ding. Yeah, Clint Eastwood's a hack. But no, it's crazy. I feel like you could see like a good directors here. It's not really a director for a hire or anything. Clint is doing good work, at least putting everything together. And there's also more levity in this movie, I noticed. So it's almost like a running gag that he gets put in the trouble, and then he shows up to like the captain and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, Harry, lay low, please stop," because he almost gets killed multiple times. He like gets criminals throughout the movie after he's told like, "Hey, you need to go on vacation." But he doesn't go on vacation, but nobody like does anything. It's not like the other ones where it's like a clear like you're fired, Harry. You're done. They're just like go on vacation, please.
Yeah, they're she gets into trouble twice, and they're like, "Please go on vacation." And they even says it's like, "Am I suspended or what?" And they're just like, "No, you're on vacation."
We don't want to repeat the plots of the other ones, okay? You're just gonna go on vacation.
And
Um,
then Harry packs his Hawaiian shirts
oh yeah.
and sunglasses and all that, so he's ready to go on. He's in vacation Harry mode.
Yeah, he goes to Florida, which would make sense because it's crazy that Clint Eastwood's still kicking it today because he looks so old as Harry in this movie. Already in '83, he's already looking too old for this role.
Yeah, I mean it's like what, 13 years at this point, so
Yeah,
it, definitely a noticeable difference. I mean, it's very much like Harry's getting up there in age.
yeah.
Um,
Which we still got one more of these to go, and that's way later.
yeah. Um,
But he
I-
still does a good job. I'll say that.
yeah, he's still Harry, and he doesn't. He kind of has another wacky sidekick, which it's a dog this time.
The dog he like trips on. I forgot about his dog. The dog that pees everywhere. And then he gets the catchphrase,
Swell.
swell. Is he trying to get another catchphrase out there?
Yeah. So there's meeting Clint Eastwood.
Uh-huh, yeah. What's the dog's name again? Meathead.
He just
Meathead.
meathead.
Yeah, Meathead. How'd you feel about the dog actor, Razzie or something? I don't know, Dog Razzie.
I mean, I thought the dog played its part well.
Well, the thing is, when he had his leg raised, you could tell they had like a little fish line on his leg to raise it up. And I don't know, they couldn't get the dog to actually do that. Bad actor. He's like, I don't feel like trying today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once you watch The Artist and Uggy and like the dog from Anatomy of a Fall, I mean, it's like, where are you gonna
Dog,
go
yeah,
from there?
that is dog acting is like, isn't it like on another level now?
Yeah.
Like crazy, like actual like performances from dogs that are like, wow, that's better than some actors. And like
Yeah.
I don't know, and all you need is just a dog to look cute in a movie, and that's usually fine enough. Um,
I think Uggy from Artist should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
I think so. I think so. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is. When I think of Uggy at the Academy Awards, I imagine him like doing a backflip in his seat. I know he didn't do that,
He
but
didn't
he was
do
just
that. He stood on his
yeah,
like he would stand on his like back paws.
yes, yeah. But I just think he's like a wonder dog. He should have done a backflip right there in the front row.
You
Uh,
just thought he was like one of that one dog toy that just like flips, like burp burp burp, and just
yeah,
flips.
exactly. We need a real dog to do that, and then we'll give him an Oscar. Um, but yes, yeah, he does have that partner because Harry actually goes away. He does leave San Francisco and he goes to it's San Pueblo, right?
I was gonna say already though they don't like him there.
No, yeah, like instantly they're like, we don't like your big city talk, which is crazy because this city doesn't look like a small town, but people act like it's a small town because the a woman later is like, what, you don't like us little city folk or whatever? And the cops like, this is a tiny town, Harry. We don't have big crimes like murder, and they have like public transportation and stuff. This is not a small town.
I, I I was about to say I've been in small town. This is not a
Yes.
small town.
No, not even close. Obviously, Clint has not been to a real small town if he really thinks this is a small town. Because, like, there's a bus there taking people to the retirement home, which is one of the funnier parts of the movie where the old people, because Harry takes the bus, he's like, I'm chasing a criminal. And the old people are like, hell yeah, get him, kick his ass. And they go through a chase through the streets, and that's why they don't like him.
And then they mistake Clint Eastwood. They think he should be on the bus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're like, no, no, you don't drive the bus. You sit back here. Um, Yeah, that's where Clint probably spends most of his days now on the retirement bus.
Probably.
No, he still makes quite a lot of movies somehow. He really is pushing them out. But anyway, um, so yeah, that happens. They go to that city because that's where the murders are happening, and so he's digging into it. But one thing that is going on in this movie is that the chief seems to be a little odd, right? He's like, don't look into that. Don't look into the people I hang out with, all that, because his twist reveal, his son was one of the ones that committed the rape, but his son, from the sound of it, attempted suicide and ended up being catatonic because he felt so awful about it. And I don't know. I guess that's like it should, she shows up, Spencer shows up, and she's like, I don't know, I guess she doesn't know how to handle it.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's fully prepared. I mean, like he's just there sitting in a chair in his wheelchair in a dark room, like
Hmm.
not reacting to anything and just sitting there just blinking his eyes.
Uh-huh.
And he's just like, then she still just like points a gun like in his face, just like, I am still ready to shoot you. And I'm like, honestly,
Yeah,
be
he's
doing
probably
I'm
he, right. It's probably a worse fate to be the state he's in.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah. If you want the worst for him, just leave him be.
yeah, I mean for real. I was like, I mean, I would much rather be shot than
Oh
be
yeah.
in a vegetative state for 40 years or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, because he's probably gonna live the rest of his life. His father seemed to take care of him and everything. Yeah, and I don't know. I felt like that was a really sad part of the movie, and I thought it was actually handled okay. Like I don't know. I thought the twist was kind of well done, where it was like, hey, that's my son, and I already kind of felt like that was already going to happen, but I felt like the reveal was interesting. It's almost like this movie is a little morally ambiguous in a way. It doesn't say anybody's right in this situation.
No, I mean, even though at the end, they pretty much
She gets away
like,
with it.
She gets away with it scot-free, and then Harry's just like, it's done, don't worry about it. But I mean, they do like kind of play into it because I mean, even like the police chief or whatever, I mean, he's not like, he kind of like is basically just like, because he does point a gun at Spencer and was basically just like, you just leave him alone. He's already suffered enough type of thing. So I mean, it looks like he's going to be like the bad guy and be like, oh, like, in
Mhm.
some other movie, I feel like it would be something like, I orchestrated this whole thing, and it just, or
I
like
hit
I
it
do,
all.
yeah. But basically, he was just like, he did this really terrible thing, and he's paying for it for the rest of his life. Like, there's nothing, you're not getting revenge on anything. It's already happened.
Exactly. Yeah, and he's like, he's already doing this and he's willing to protect his son at this point still. Um And and I think that's well done. But like you said, once it gets to the end, uh, sh- the, she's like, "Oh, what else is there to do, Harry?" And she's like, "What are you gonna? We are you gonna do justice, and you're gonna call the police on me?" And that's what Harry's probably gonna do. But then he decides to blame it on one of the other guys that raped her and say that he was the one that was killing them all, and then just kind of like lets her scot free because she gives a good speech about how sometimes revenge is justice. Justice was served because our system won't actually do it. Which
Yeah,
you're
I
right,
mean,
goes
and that's
completely against the second movie. You're right.
right. I mean, that's pretty much like this whole speech was just like Harry's not opposed to using excessive force only if it's like
Within the law,
with or it's like
someone's breaking the law.
or if it's in defense or something like that. As bad as Harry is, sometimes he doesn't just like walk up and just shoot people like out
Mhm.
of nowhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Like like at the end, when some of those people like in that diner scene in the beginning, that one guy was just like, all right, I give up type of thing. Like,
Exactly. Because that's when he says the famous line, "Go ahead, make my day," which is from this one, which I don't,
yeah,
I feel like most people don't know.
that one's from this movie. And, had you go based off her logic, Harry would have just like, oh, well, you did something terrible, so I'm just going to shoot you type of thing, even if he
Exactly.
surrendered.
But I guess he felt like the act that had been committed to the both of them was worthy of the vengeance that she dealt out. I don't know. I guess it is an interesting end. Probably the right end. I don't know. I guess it would also feel weird if Harry at the end of the movie is like, "All right, Booker, she killed them all." But then again, I guess that wouldn't be bad either because it'd be like she got her revenge, but she's just going to go to prison now. Well, she'd probably get the electric chair. They got that in California in the 80s. Who knows? Uh,
I don't know.
I don't know
That's the
either.
solar powered electric chair.
Yeah, the solar. Well, yeah. The reason it takes so long to kill him is it's got to charge up. It's charging right now. But no, it's funny that my two favorite like Harry movies, because I actually really like this one, contradict each other. The second one and this one, I really like both of those, and they contradict each other. I actually think Sun and Impact was a really solid revenge movie. I think Harry he's doing a great, or sorry, I should say Clint Eastwood is doing really good as Harry in this one. Just all around a very entertaining, fast, well plotted movie. I don't know. I really enjoyed this entry.
It's very clear when you get like a different director like Clint Eastwood into a movie, like
Yeah.
when he's actually directing, because Clint Eastwood is a competent director.
Oh yeah, he's made great movies.
Yeah,
Not
and
Million Dollar Baby, not not
Unforgiven.
oh ugh, no. I'm talking about like Bridges Over Madison County, The Mule.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
all great ones.
yes, yes.
Um, but no, I like this one. It's not my favorite Dirty Harry movie,
Mhm.
but it's still a solid movie. Um, I I like that. Like I said, I like that there was actually like like a memorable character and something that makes it really stand out from the other ones.
Exactly. And I think that's what's important at this point in this franchise is making it stand out, which we'll have to see if they do that in the final Dirty Harry movie, The Deadpool, when we get to that one.
With Ryan Reynolds. Oh my God.
Ryan Reynolds is in it? Was he
Yeah,
play a bit
Deadpool.
role? Oh, I didn't even get it. I was like, what? Oh, was he really young? Was he like a child? I don't know how old Ryan Reynolds is. But no, no, not that Deadpool, not the Chimichanga Deadpool. Um,
The Deadpool starring Jim Carrey. Got it.
yeah, starring Jim Carrey and Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
Yeah. But Ryan, what are we going to be covering on Thursday?
Well, Nathan, we're going to be talking about the final Gamera movie, Nathan. We're going to be talking about Gamera the Brave, which is free on Tubi right now.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to talk about that one. And if you want to email us, please email us at drivingdoublefeaturepodcast@gmail.com. be sure to like us or follow us wherever you're listening to our podcast. But until next time.
Until next time.